excited. How are you guys doing? Everybody excited about Christmas coming? And everybody has to be excited that Santa Claus is here with us. Oh. And I'm going to have the pleasure of reading what I learned was one of Santa's favorite books.
It is one of my favorite books, and I love to read. So those of you boys and girls that love to read, and if you don't, learn to read and keep reading all of your lives, because you will learn continually, and it's wonderful to be here.
That was a great message from Santa. Okay, the night before Christmas. Here we go. I'm going to try and show you guys the pictures as I read so you can see the excitement. The night before Christmas. Oh, and this is a nice snowy scene. How many people are excited to have it snow on Christmas? Yeah, that makes it kind of special, right? Having a little snow. It's a good thing we're in Denver because you guys get that a lot. All right, 'twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. Nice little fireside chat. It's all a mystery. We don't know what Santa's gonna do. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. So everybody's sleeping because everybody knows that Santa doesn't come until you are what? You have to be asleep. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. Oh, Santa's coming. Oh my goodness. How does Santa get there? Yeah? Yes, his sleigh and his reindeer. Do you guys know the reindeer's names? Okay, we're gonna get to that part. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Do we know their names? Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. Whoa. Pretty cool. So how does Santa get down to the house? He flies down the roof and through the chimney, right? As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of 8 little hoofs. There he is, he's propped up. Has everybody been good? All right, because Santa's gonna wanna know, because why does he wanna know if you've been good or bad? Why? That's right, that's right. As I drew in my head and was turning around down the chimney, St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. Are you still smoking, Santa?
No, I gave up smoking because it's very bad for you.
That's a good thing. This book was written before he stopped smoking, and we are very happy about that. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Yay! Well done. Thank you, Santa. It was a pleasure reading with you. So now, Santa and I have time to talk to you guys. So if anybody has questions for either me or Santa, we are here for you.
We are so excited. We have all sorts of great questions for you. This is my buddy Zoe. Zoe, what are you wondering?
Was there really a movie theater in the White House?
Was there really a movie theater in the White House? Yes, there is a movie theater in the White House. And it is covered in red velvet chairs and red drapes all around. It's been there for quite a long time. But we used to love to watch movies there and invite kids from around the community as well to come in and watch movies. So that was one of our favorite things. Barack Obama loved movies. So we watched a lot of movies.
And I have a wonderful question from my friend LaShawn. LaShawn, what's your question?
Who's your favorite celebrity?
Santa, you should start with that. Do you have a favorite celebrity?
You know, I really don't. I like a lot of different celebrities, and I really enjoy those that put on family-friendly movies that are fun to watch.
That's a very politically correct thing to say, Santa. I like that answer. I like a lot of celebrities, too. I love Ellen because she makes me laugh. We love Ellen because she is so funny and so silly. Did you see when we went to Costco and she was signing my book? And she's just silly. So she's one of my favorites. But I like Santa, I love so many of them. I love the ones who like to give of their time to others. You know, that's a good thing. All right, who else?
I've got my friend David over here.
Hey, David.
And David signs, and he has a question for you.
Excellent.
Go ahead, David. First, he's saying hello, and his next question is, what's your favorite thing to eat? This means eat.
Oh, yeah, eat. Santa, you want to take that one, too?
Well, many of you may know my favorite thing to eat is cookies.
Oh, yeah.
However, Mrs. Claus, most of the year, puts me on a cookie diet. And I'm only allowed one cookie a day because she said that if you get too fat, you don't live as long or as healthy. So she wants me to be healthy and live a long time. So I get, on Christmas Eve, who's not with me? Mrs. Claus. Very good. So I have to wear my stretchy pants. And I'm skinny right now. This is skinny. Now, on Christmas Eve, I wear my stretchy pants, and watch what happens to my belly.
Oh. And that's all from cookies?
That's all from cookies and good things cold to drink. And I get home, and Mrs. Claus shakes her finger and scolds me.
Man.
And I just laugh. I love cookies.
I love you, Santa.
Thank you.
Don't we love Santa? Well, my favorite foods, I like a lot of foods. I love the healthy foods that I like. I love kale, I love carrots, but I do like fun foods too. So my favorite fun food, it's French fries. And I'm like you with the French fries. I can't, if I eat too many, my stomach starts to grow, and I have to put the stretchy pants on.
But she doesn't eat them all night long.
No, not at all. Thanks for that question, babe.
I have Malachi here. Malachi has a question for you.
How many push-ups can you do?
How many push-ups can I do? Yeah, I know. You know, that's a good question because I haven't been working out as much as because of this tour. So I don't know. Maybe I can do 15, but I'm not going to do them here because I'm not dressed for push-ups.
That's
But,
okay.
Yeah, I've been able to do more. I've got to be in a little more shape. So after this book tour, I'm going to get back in shape where I can get that number back up. But that's a great question. Santa, do you like push-ups?
I really don't enjoy doing them. I do some push-ups and I do some sit-ups. You can't tell about that. But in December, I don't do near as many as I should because I love to eat good food.
But exercise is important, Malachi. All you guys, as you grow up, you got to keep exercise and you got to eat right to stay healthy. Okay?
That's right. That's a good message. I've got Giovanni here. What are you wondering?
I have a question. What would you get Barack Obama for Christmas?
Oh, what am I going to get Barack Obama for Christmas? Well, first of all, we have to pretend like the cameras, you have to cover your ears and the lenses because it won't be a surprise because all these people are going to write about it. But hopefully he's not paying attention. I'm thinking about getting him a golf shirt. It's not going to be an exciting Christmas for him this year. I've been a little busy, but he loves to golf. So it's going to be something golf related. Okay? What do you think I should get him? Give me some ideas. Got golf balls? What else?
Golf cart, I hear. Who else has an idea?
What was that? Any ideas
Who else
for
has
Barack
an idea?
Obama's
What do you think?
Christmas gift?
A basketball. What
Okay,
else?
that's
Any
a
other
good
ideas?
one.
What do you think? A what? Socks.
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 I can do that.
Everybody needs socks.
Yep. A golf cart? A whole cart? You think he's been good enough to get a whole cart? Yeah, I don't think he's been that good this year. All right, we have more questions?
We sure do. Tell us your name first.
My name's Lily.
And what is your question?
Where did you get your inspiration to write your book?
Oh, wow. Where did because for those of you who don't know, I just wrote a book, and some of it's called Becoming, and it's about my time in the White House, but it's also about my whole journey of growing up and getting from being a little girl like you to where I am today. And part of what inspired me is that, you know, stories of people's journeys are important. And I want you guys to know that, you know, because part of what I want you to know is that whatever you're going through is an important part of your journey. And I want you all to try to remember all those little things that don't seem special right now because you're little, like the foods you like to eat and what you love about your mom and your dad, you know, and who inspired you and what made you afraid. All those things are important to know so that you understand when you get to be my age, how did you get from there to here? And I think stories and knowing your story and then being able to share it with other people gives you power, you know, and there's nothing in your story that you should ever be ashamed of because you're not you without all the good stuff and the bad stuff. So I wanted to inspire other kids like you to think about your own story. You know, maybe start writing a journal about the things that happened to you, teachers that you loved, or maybe teachers that you didn't love, and why you didn't love them, because those stories make you you. Do you like to write? Yeah, that's good.
I have Maya here. What are you wondering, Maya?
I was wondering if you could have any song
playing to announce your entrance into a room, what song would you want it to
Oh,
be?
wow, that's a good question. Santa, what about you? A song that you would pick to announce your entrance into a room?
Either We Wish You a Merry Christmas or Joy to the World. I love both of those songs. Sometimes people play Here Comes Santa Claus when I come into the room.
That's a good one.
And so
You've got some good theme songs.
I do have some nice songs.
Well, for me, maybe, well, right now on the tour, one of the songs that they play when I come out on stage is Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire. Yeah.
That's also a very good song.
That would
yes.
be good for you, Santa.
I'm not a girl on fire.
That's right. That's right. But you're on fire.
I'm a guy on fire, maybe.
That's a guy on fire. So that's one. Who's next?
I have Trinity here. Trinity, what's your question?
How was it being on iCarly?
Oh, iCarly. How many of you guys watch? Is iCarly still on? The reruns? That's not on. See, I'm not keeping up because my kids are grown-ups now, so they don't watch. But when iCarly was on, it was a show on Disney. And we did a show on military kids because we wanted to kind of highlight the fact that there are a lot of kids out in the world, families who are serving in our country. And it's not just the men and women who go abroad and fight in wars, but their families and their kids who often stay behind and sacrifice. And we thought it would be a good thing to have a show that focused on that issue. So it was fun. I mean, the cast was really cool. They were all nice. They've all grown up now, but they were all very outgoing kids, very polite, very smart, because in addition to acting on the show, they also had to do their homework and stay in school and read. So they were managing all of that at a very young age. But it was a fun time to be on the show.
This is my friend Dante, and here's his question.
What's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby. All right, why don't we start with Santa? Santa?
Well, I love snow sports, but I also like to play racquetball, tennis, skiing. I love to ski. I'm not real good on a snowboard. I love to have snowball fights and make snow angels and make snowmen and igloos. But then also, when I'm visiting a place without the snow, I like swimming in the ocean and just having a lot of fun and visiting different places in the world. So I should say my favorite hobby is going to places in the world where children live.
What's your question?
And Santa, what do you wear when you swim?
Oh, I wear red swim trunks.
Do you keep your hat on?
I do keep a hat on, but not this one. I have a hat I put on because I don't have a lot of hair on top of my head. I've grown it on my chin.
sorry.
And the top of my head gets sunburned if I don't wear a hat.
And we don't want Santa sunburned, do
Well,
we?
it doesn't feel too good to get sunburned. So if you guys go out in the sun, make sure you use sunscreen or wear proper clothing.
I love Santa. My favorite hobbies, what do I like to do? I love music, all kinds of music. So that's what I do when I'm traveling. I've got my headphones on and I'm sharing music with my kids and they're introducing me to the latest songs. Like I'm trying to understand who Migos is, and I didn't really know that there were 3 Migos. I thought it was Amigos. So I'm learning about their music and my music. I love sports. I like to ski too. And I love working out when I get some time.
I also love to read. I do a lot of reading.
Me too. Reading. How long were you first? Me too, Santa.
I know.
Any other questions?
I think Kayla has your next question over there.
I do. We have
Okay.
we have a special question. This is Natalie, and Natalie was wondering how long you were First Lady for.
I was First Lady for 8 years, and that's the longest you can be First Lady. So each president has what are called terms, a time in office, and you can have 2 4-year terms. So after your first term, 4 years, you have to get reelected. And my husband got reelected, and he got another 4 years. And once we finished that, then because of the Constitution, he can't run for president again. So you only get 8 years in office, which is more than enough.
I've got Leslie right here with a question.
What is something that we don't know about you, but you would like the world to know about you?
Where is Leslie?
She's
Where
right
Oh,
here.
there you go.
Right
Hey,
here.
What was that, babe?
Say it one more time.
What is something somebody doesn't know about you, but you would like the world to know about you?
She said, what is something that you
Yeah.
don't think everyone knows about you, but you'd like the whole world to know?
Wow, I just wrote a book and I put everything in there, so I don't think there's much left. What about you, Santa?
I often get questioned about my elves. My shortest elf only comes up to my knee. His name is Timothy, and he makes the best bells and jewelry for me. So he always makes Santa's bells, and he makes the bells that go around my reindeer's necks when they fly in the evening.
So you have elves that specialize in certain things?
Oh, I sure do. And
Specialty
my
elves.
tallest elf is 7'6" tall.
What?
But I have shelves in my toy shop that are down low to the floor and some that are way up there. So it's nice to have elves of all shapes and sizes.
See, I thought all the elves were small, didn't you? I didn't know there were 7-foot elves.
Yes. Not many, but I have a few.
See, I didn't know that about Santa. I think I've told everybody everything that I want them to know about me. And the one thing I like to repeat is that I love kids. If I could spend every day with kids like you all day, talking and answering questions and figuring out what's going on in your heads and figuring out how you work, I would do that every single day. So that's something that I want you guys to know, that that's how important kids are in this world, that important people like us, we should be investing in you as much as we can. So, and making sure that you know how much you're loved by so many people.
Very good answer. I love children around the world, and that's one reason I am still a Santa Claus. The other thing, my parents helped me become the good Santa that I am. So always listen to your parents. They are there to help you, even though sometimes you may not agree with what they're asking you to do. So use your brains and keep
Good advice. I'm going to have you text Malia and Sasha when we're done, just to remind them of that.
I have a friend Madeline here with a question right over here.
What do you think you'd be doing with your life now if you were never First Lady?
Ooh, well, before my husband ran, I worked at the University of Chicago Medical Center. And I worked on community affairs and community relations, and I worked, at the time they were building their children's hospital, which is called the Comer Children's Hospital. So I helped them build the hospital, and I probably would still be there doing that work. This is why coming here is so important to me, because this was the last kind of work I did, working with kids in hospitals and working with all the amazing staff and helping them to support them doing the work that they're doing. So I probably would still be doing that if I weren't the First Lady.
I have Rihanna here. She has a question for you as well.
What inspires you to inspire other people?
What inspires me to inspire other people? I think it's the same answer I gave. It's kids like you. You know, because sometimes grown-ups can be kind of cranky and they get lost sometimes because, you know, they can be a little cynical about life and maybe think the worst sometimes. But kids are never like that. Kids are open and still exploring. And so whenever I meet kids like you guys, it gives me a reason for why I need to work harder, because I want you all to have a world that's worthy of your hopes and dreams. And it's up to adults like us to make sure that we're taking care of the planet and that we're making sure you guys have education, and that when you get sick, you have access to great hospitals like this so that they can help make you better. So you guys inspire me, for sure. Every day, there is some kid that I meet that gives me hope and gives me a reason to keep working hard. What about you, Santa? What inspires you?
Well, it's the children around the world that do inspire me also, amazingly enough, because they're so full of joy. And they love to learn new things, and they're just excited about a lot of things. So to me, that's always fun. It's always enjoyable to be with children. That's why I travel the world being with different children. And I keep getting filled with joy, which makes my life more enjoyable for me and a lot more fun. And so that's why I love being Santa, and I try to spread the joy with others that I see.
And you do a good job. Doesn't Santa do a great job of spreading joy? You are good at that, Santa.
You are one of my favorite ambassadors for children. You do a wonderful job with children.
Thank you, Santa.
And I have a question from Miss Jaylene.
What are your favorite dance moves?
Ooh, my favorite dance moves. I don't know if I know the names of them. The thing I can't do is, what's that thing where I can't do that for some reason. I can do it like 3 times and then I get lost in the floss. What are my favorite dance moves? I don't think any of my favorite dance moves have names to them. I just move to the music. I just like to move, you know? I don't think I know any specific moves. What about you? What's your favorite dance move? That's a tough one.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah, what is that called? See, I don't even know what that's called. I know what it is. What's that called?
What's it called? Who knows?
It's called...
Is it from Fortnite?
Yeah,
And what's it called?
Orange Justice.
Orange Justice. Can you show me what it is? I know. Anybody who's brave enough to show me Orange Justice.
Okay. I think if you want to try it, stand up right
You
now.
want to try it?
Stand up right now and let's show anybody in the audience. Feel free to show her.
There we go. There we
Okay.
go. Woo, woo.
Giovanni's got it right here.
Yeah. Okay. So let me try that. All right, Santa.
Good job. High five, my friend.
Mrs. Claus says I cannot dance.
Anybody else? She says, stand up, dance with Mrs. Obama. Stand up and dance with Mrs. Obama and Santa right now. Drop it down. That was incredible. And such a special treat.
Santa doing Orange Justice. It's going to be a great Christmas.
Maybe we should rename it to Red
Just
Justice.
remember, you can do it much better than Santa does.
That's okay, Santa. You put in your best effort.
That's all that
Give it
matters.
an old ho-ho try.
This is my friend Judson, and Judson uses a talker to communicate. So he's got a question for you.
One other question. If I had a magic wand and one wish, it would be to remove hate from the world. What would you wish for?
Oh, that's a great question. It would be along those lines. It would be, there's a word that I use often that's called empathy. And empathy is being able to put yourself in the shoes of another person, to sort of see the world from their perspective. So that even when somebody puts out hate in the world, one of the things that I try to figure out is what makes them hate? And can I understand what they're afraid of? And then maybe I can help better get them to a better place if I can understand them. And I think that if everyone practiced empathy, you know, not just thinking about how they feel, but how the other person feels, even when they're not doing the best thing, even when they're not right or they're not treating you right, sometimes trying to understand how they feel, you know, will help us as a country be nicer to each other. So I would wish for empathy, more empathy in the world. What about you, Santa?
That's an excellent answer.
Perfect.
Along with those lines, I would also wish for health for everyone in the world, because it's it's heart-rendering to see people suffering, and I know that you're doing the best you can, and you're listening to your doctors. You've got excellent doctors here at the hospital, but I would, if I had my wish, you wouldn't even need those doctors. You would be healthy all the time, and so would everyone else. And I think that would stop a lot of anger and frustration with people in the world if they did not have some of those physical feelings.
Great answer, Santa, and great question. Thank you so much.
All right.
Well, we have a hand that keeps going up right here. This young man, it has been very patient.
I'm not in the right spot.
You're
Kayla,
not in the right spot.
I'm
We've
not in
gotta
the right
get you-
spot. Kayla, will you get him?
I'm coming.
Oh, wait, I lied. I can get there.
Okay.
Check that out.
Who can beat you?
I'm really nimble.
You're moving.
Who has a question?
They're racing to get
Young
to
man
you.
in the...
It's Logan, right?
It's Logan.
Logan, what's your question?
So, if you have a favorite cookie, what would it be?
Favorite cookie, Santa?
Well, Santa, because you see, I'm skinny, I love all cookies except one kind. Some of you may know the one kind I don't like.
I don't know.
Would you like to take one guess?
What kind of
One
cookie
cookie I
that
do
you
not
don't like? I have no idea, Santa.
Well, take a guess.
Well, it can't be chocolate chip.
No, I love chocolate chip. The one cookie I do not care for are burned cookies. Okay? And by burned, I mean black. I like dark brown,
little crisp.
I like crisp cookies. I like soft cookies. But if they are black charcoal, toss them out and make a new batch.
Do you give them to the reindeer?
Oh, they don't even like burned
Oh, man. So, no burned cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies. My favorite cookies. Thanks, Logan. Thanks for that question.
Thanks for seeing Logan.
Logan's been very patient over there.
I have Miss Ella over here.
Do you know what K-pop is?
No, what is that?
Korean pop.
Say that again?
Korean pop.
Korean pop?
It's a type of music. It's very
No,
popular.
No. Oh, man. Now it's like, does anybody have I want to hear this. K-pop.
I think you should put it on your homework. Check it
Okay.
out later.
All right. I'm
Some
gonna get,
K-pop.
I'm gonna get hip to that.
Gotcha. Okay, we have a very important question. over
Okay,
here.
yes. These are all very important questions, by
First
the
of
way.
all, you're a really big inspiration for not only me, but a lot of us here. And I was asking if you were going to run for president in 2020.
These are
Okay,
future
that was
voters.
Plant. Who put you up to that? Well, people ask me that all the time, and the answer is no. And here's one of the reasons that you guys will understand as kids. I have two girls who spent 8 years with the spotlight on them as they were growing up, trying to be normal. You know, they have to, because when you're the child of the president, you have to have security all the time, no matter what happens. They're living with risks. And they've had to really struggle with figuring out how to live a normal life. And now that their dad is done, they're free for the first time. Yay for them. They get to drive their own cars and be on their own and go to college and have their own adventures. And I just feel like if I turned around and said, hey guys, guess what mom's gonna do? Now, how would you guys feel? Yeah, well, if you were my kids and your whole life would be turned upside down. Again. So, well, so here's my hope. My hope is that we make room for one of you guys to be the next president. And that is my hope, is that we make the investment in you guys. Make sure you get the education you need, because if you're going to be the president of the United States, you have to know a lot of stuff. That means that right now you have to be working hard in school and reading and learning about history and understanding how the world works. And you need to go to college to get that done. And Barack and I want to make sure that you all have the support and the resources that you need to be our next leaders, because it's not enough to have just Michelle or Barack Obama one or two people. We need everyone to be a leader in their own way. Even if it's not being president of the United States, we need you to be a leader in school. We need you to be excellent at everything you all do to make this country great. So we want to invest in that so that you all have what you need and you have what it takes inside to know that you are worthy of those kind of dreams and that you have what it takes. So I'm going to invest my time in investing in you all. So I hope that one day that these tables are reversed, right? That I'm sitting out there maybe supporting the hospital and one of you guys is sitting here next to Santa because of something great that you've done and you're coming back to share it with the hospital that's given you so much. And that to me is a better investment, right? Thanks for the question, sweetie.
I think we have two
This
questions.
is Christopher and Santa. Get ready.
I'm ready.
Santa, where the elves work?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Christopher is wondering where the elves work.
Oh, that's a good
very
question.
good question. My elves have many different toy shops and workshops at the North Pole. Many of my elves are busy working, making toys right now. They're on double time duty. They're working a lot because we're getting close to the deadline. And some of my elves are taking care of reindeer, and some of them are helping Mrs. Claus fix food because, as you know, they eat also. And with a lot of elves, we need a lot of food. So right now they're still up at the North Pole.
So everyone is at the North Pole.
Well, I do have one that came down to this area with me. When I fly into an area where there's a big city, I fly in at night because if I'm flying over the city in the daytime, people look up and they're trying to take pictures. And what happens
Cell
is
phones.
they have accidents. So Santa doesn't want anyone getting hurt because they're trying to take my picture. So I fly into an area, I park my reindeer at a friend's house down by a lake or a river. I know people all over the world. And then I borrow one of their vehicles and go around town during the daytime. So if you happen to see me in a car, it's because I borrowed that car from the place I parked my reindeer. Now my one elf that I bring with me, he's taking care of those reindeer while I'm visiting with children into the Denver area.
Santa has a fascinating life.
That he does. I think we have time for just one more question. And this is Olivia, and this is
Olivia.
her question.
If you could tell your younger self something, what would it be?
That is a great question. I want to hear Santa's answer to this first. And
Well-
when were you your younger self? How long has that been?
Long ago. When I was younger, sometimes I got into quite a bit of mischief.
Not you, Santa.
Oh, yes. Yes, and sometimes I even got into trouble. I know that you find that hard to believe, but I did. I never really hurt anybody, but I did things that were kind of pranks. Maybe they didn't like them. And I did have consequences, so when they found out, and I always tell the truth, so when they found out who did it, I would have to go help take care or help clean up the mess I had made, and also apologize and make sure things were better, and then I'd have to tell them, I'm sorry I did that, but it was just so much fun, I couldn't resist it. Like dumping a load of snow off of a roof onto someone's head when they're not expecting it.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't follow Santa's
But it was fun to
younger
do.
lead. Oh, Santa. Santa's been naughty at times, huh?
I have, but then my parents kept working with me when I was younger, and
you turned out to be
I turned out pretty
fine-
good.
Fine young man.
Thank you, thank you.
What would I tell my younger self? I would tell my younger self what I would tell you all is don't let fear guide you. Because sometimes, don't you guys at times find that when you're about to do something new or strange and you feel this feeling of fear that maybe you can't do it, and that's going to be hard or it's going to be uncomfortable? You know, and that's something that we all fear. You know, I had fear that I wouldn't know how to be a first lady. You know, I had fear that, would I be a good mother? You know, I had fear about whether I would do well in law school. You know, every step of the way, you face fear. And sometimes fear can make you stop before you've even tried something. And what I want to make sure that you all know, and what I had to tell myself, was that don't let fear stop you from doing things that will help you grow. Because sometimes when you face those fears and you push through them and you get used to the fact that knowing that that fear goes away, it does, it always does. And that you don't want to get stuck in a place just because you're afraid to try, you know? So I want you guys to know that all of us, even Santa, we have fear in our lives. We have fear of doing something new or different, but it's doing that different thing that helps you grow, you know? So when you hit that fear, just tell yourself, okay, I know this feeling, but I'm gonna practice my way through it because I'm not gonna miss out on an opportunity just because of a little feeling of fear that's gonna ultimately go away. Because want you guys to do great things, and doing great things means that sometimes you have to do things that are uncomfortable. You have to try some new things. But when you try them and then you're successful, you feel the greatest sense of satisfaction. You feel better than you did if you had quit. So I want you to be brave in your life, okay? That doesn't mean that fear won't be there. We all feel it, but work through it. That's what I would tell myself when I was younger. You guys have been so amazing. Such great questions.
Please, bye you.
Such attentive audience members. And Santa, isn't he a fantastic? He's so full of wisdom and knowledge and joy.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Noah, give me a microphone. Oh, there's my microphone. Hey, thank you so much. Can you guys give one huge round of applause for the incredible Santa Claus and the incredible Mrs. Obama? We are so lucky to have had you here, and we are so thankful that you spent so much time with us and shared so much wisdom. We really, really appreciate it. I believe, like I told you before, I believe Miss Obama's gonna head off this way so we can all wave to her goodbye. And Santa, are you staying?
I can stay a little while, so I will stay and visit with you and maybe answer questions, get to talk to you a little bit longer and do something special, because I had brought something special to the hospital.
Oh, Santa,
early
wait
this
a minute.
morning.
You're telling me you're Santa and you usually deliver presents.
I do.
Did you want her?
No,
Okay.
I'll talk to her later.
You know how to find
I know
her,
how to
huh?
get her
You know
attention.
how to find all these guys, don't you?
That's right.
That's true.
And many of you do not have a chimney. Are you worried about me getting in? Santa on Christmas Eve does not need a chimney. On Christmas Eve is the only night of the year when the Christmas magic works for me. On Christmas Eve, because of children all over the world that believe,